All degree-seeking students at SVC must take English 101. It's considered a foundational course for all areas of study. It's easy to have misconceptions or even fears about this class. This Writing Center video gives you 3 types of information to help you prepare to take English 101. The answers to some frequently asked questions, what instructors want you to know to help you be a strong student, and what consultants in the Writing Center want you to know so that you can do your best with your writing. First, let's look at some facts. English 101 is also known as Composition 1. Like all college classes, it's designed by the department, in this case the English department, to meet course outcomes that have been developed in accordance with current best practices and for effective transfer. So, does that mean that all English 101 classes are exactly the same? Nope. Instructors design their classes differently, but all sections of a course must meet the course outcomes. A question a lot of students want the answer to is, will you get to, or have to, choose your own topics for your papers? Maybe, but probably not. It's much more likely that you'll select and narrow a topic from within a focused framework provided in the assignment. Most English 101 classes are taught with some sort of associated curriculum of focus materials. Sometimes the instructor has selected a focus for the class. For example, it might look at issues related to work and working life, or consider aspects of education, or work from ideas in a book that the class reads. When English 101 is offered in a learning community, some or all of the writing will be focused on the material studied in the other course. You might take a learning community that combines English 101 with a history class, a biology class, an art class. The possibilities are endless. And some sections of English 101 are meant for students in certain programs. In these cases, the writing will focus on ideas and information pertinent to those programs. Another question you might be wondering about, will you be able to turn in your work late? Don't count on it. A lot of students assume they will be able to turn in late work, maybe because they were able to in high school or because they've heard of other students doing it. But it's not as common in college. College instructors set their own late work policies. Some may drop grades for late work, but many won't accept late work at all. So different English 101 classes will have different rules about late work, and the different classes you take during the quarter may have different policies too. Be sure you are clear on the late work policy for each class you take. Check the class policies, which you'll find in or along with the class syllabus. Now here's a question a lot of new students have about English 101. We aren't going to be studying grammar again, are we? Possibly, but not much. 101 isn't a grammar class. Because it's a college-level writing class, the expectation is that you will already have good control of grammar when you write in English. Most of us have some grammar issues, and there are a few grammar problems that are pretty common. For that reason, your instructor may very well include some grammar instruction in your 101 class. But the focus of 101 is to practice writing essays while using an effective writing process and writing at the college level. Of course, you'll do a lot more, including some or all of these things. Read and analyze various kinds of writing, participate in class and group discussions, identify topic ideas, synthesize ideas and information from several texts in your writing, conduct research, cite sources in your writing, provide feedback to your peers on their ideas and writing, and practice critical thinking at all times. So you might wonder, does critical thinking mean you have to criticize other people's ideas and writing? Heck no. Criticizing something usually means taking it down, saying how it's bad or wrong. Critical thinking is a different use of the word. In English 101, you'll respond to your peers' ideas and writing by providing constructive feedback, helpful comments about what's working, what might not be working yet, and suggestions for where to go next with the writing. Here's a very helpful definition of critical thinking. Skillful, responsible thinking that is conducive to good judgment because it is sensitive to context, relies on criteria, and is self-correcting. A lot of students wonder why they have to take this class if they already learned a lot of it in high school. Well, it may sound like the same class, but writing in college is different. Even if you're studying the same thing about writing, how to structure essays, how to write a good thesis, etc., Expectations of college-level writing are higher. The ideas and subject matter you'll be writing about are likely to be more complex, and the needs of college writing are different. Finally, you may be wondering what skills besides writing are most important to help you do well in English 101. You'll use lots of skills in 101, but instructors and former students alike agree that two very important ones are reading skills and time management skills. Reading for college takes a lot of time and focus. Be prepared to take notes on your reading and to discuss and write about what you read. And time management is crucial. Only by being aware of your time and making a good plan for managing it can you be successful in class. Okay, part 2 of our talk today is about being a strong student. What English 101 instructors want you to know. We asked 101 instructors to share their thoughts with us, and here's what they said. To be successful in English 101, you need to be prepared. First, be sure to get your textbooks before class begins. Many students don't realize that this is expected. You are very likely to get a reading assignment in the first day or two of class, so you'll need the books. To find out what books you'll need, go to the SVC bookstore online or in person and look up your class. Be sure to get the right section. Remember, different instructors will use different books. Once you know what you need, order your books. You can buy them from the bookstore or buy or rent them online. It's up to you, but do it well in advance of classes starting. You should also sign on to your course Canvas site if it has one as soon as it's available. Some instructors make them available on the first day of classes and others many days before. Look through the site to get a sense of how your instructor is using Canvas. In Canvas, or as soon as they're made available to you in class, carefully go over the syllabus and course policies along with any other first day materials your instructor assigns. Remember, a syllabus is a contract for the class. It's a very important document. You'll want to save a copy for easy access. Put a paper copy at the front of your notebook or save an electronic version where you can get at it quickly. Instructors are also clear that you should be ready to work on day 1. There's no time to waste in college classes, so don't expect a slow start. Be prepared to have readings or homework from the first day of class. Instructors also want you to look for answers to your questions about assignments and course expectations. Check the syllabus, schedule, or assignment for answers before asking questions. Often your question will be answered there. For example, you may be wondering when something is due, how many words long an essay should be, or what the late work policy is. Look for the answer first. If you don't find your question answered after a serious effort, do be sure to ask. Instructors want you to ask questions, but they will be frustrated if students continue to ask questions that the instructors already provided the answers to. And instructors want you to practice what we'll call good studenting. This means go to class. You can't learn if you're not there, whether you're studying in person or online. Don't expect to be able to just do the homework and not participate in the class. Do the work, all the work. It may sound obvious, one instructor told us, but so many students just don't do all the work. Be sure not to skip what may seem like unnecessary assignments or small steps. If it was unnecessary, the instructor wouldn't assign it. Most assignments are scaffolded. That means that you will move through smaller steps as you work toward completing the larger final work, like an essay. It's all designed to help you learn and make you successful. Plus, if you don't earn the points for the assignment, your grade will definitely be affected. Finally, follow the instructions for whatever you're working on. Don't make assumptions about what the instructor wants or what the assignment should be. Always follow the instructions and check back regularly to be sure you're still on track. Just because you did things a certain way in a high school class, for example, doesn't mean it's what you will be doing now. And finally, instructors encourage you to make good use of your resources. As a college learner, you're expected to be independent, but that doesn't mean not looking for assistance when you need or want it. It does, however, mean seeking out that help on your own. Don't wait for someone else to figure out you want help. Among your most helpful resources are your instructor's office hours. Remember earlier when we said instructors like questions? Don't be shy about seeking out your instructor for help or feedback on your work when you have questions. Be sure to take advantage also of support from the Writing Center or the Tutoring Center for your other classes, and check out TRIO support if you qualify. In the Writing Center, we understand that a lot of students come to college thinking that only struggling students use tutoring support. Not true. Successful students seek out support, and the Writing Center is for all students. Some of the best writers in English 101 writing classes come to us for feedback on their work. Finally, look to your peers for support too. Students who work together outside of class are more likely to be successful. Of course, you'll be careful not to use each other's ideas and writing inappropriately, but talking together about your writing and giving good feedback is how effective writers do their work. And now for part 3, doing the writing. What the Writing Center consultants want you to know to help you be successful in English 101. In the Writing Center, consultants work with all kinds of students of all abilities from all walks of life, writing in all kinds of different classes. They work with many English 101 students. And here's what they say are the most common writing concerns students want help with. Knowing these will encourage you to pay close attention to them when they're addressed in your class. First, students want help with essay structure. Essays aren't stories or reports or random notes. There's a particular structure that helps make them work. Especially, it's important to know about thesis statements. What makes an effective thesis statement? What doesn't work as a thesis statement? And remember, what's expected in your college writing may be more complicated than what you've learned before. You'll also want to be sure to understand topic sentences and how they work to organize paragraphs and move a reader through the ideas in a paper. If you'd like to learn more about thesis and topic sentences before you even get to them in class, check out the Writing Center writing guides, which are available through our website. Writing Center consultants also work with a lot of students who are writing from research. Most important is understanding the differences between academic and non-academic research. If you're asked to do academic research, you will need to learn new ways of finding new kinds of sources that you've probably used in the past. An internet search isn't going to be enough. Pay close attention to what your instructor is asking for. Also very important is learning how to write about and cite academic research. In academic writing, research isn't used simply to add a compelling quote or a useful statistic to your own thoughts. You'll learn to synthesize and analyze ideas from research, and it's vitally important that you document your sources accurately if you're required to. Your instructor may have you use the MLA documentation style or APA style. Remember, don't assume, follow the instructions. The final thing the Writing Center consultants want you to know to be prepared for is about writing in academic style. This means understanding the difference between an academic and a non-academic voice or tone in writing. Academic writing voice is more formal than you may be used to. It also means focusing on clarity and concision in your writing, editing your writing so that it is clean and clear with no unnecessary or extra verbiage thrown in to try to make things sound complicated. So, some final thoughts on what to expect from your English 101 class. Take it seriously. Practicing the clear expression of organized ideas prepares you to do well in your other college classes, as well as in your life beyond college. Be aware that it might be hard. Some students are surprised that English 101 isn't easy, probably because it can seem like material you've covered before. Remember, college writing is different. But it may not be as hard as you expect. If you're worried about 101 or have always had a hard time with writing classes, don't despair. Go to class, do all the work, follow instructions, and use your resources. And remember, the Writing Center is here to help you at any stage of your writing process.